My friends and family warned me of her. Due to hearing stories about her past, I ignored all this as I really couldn't see any of it. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, Am I the A-hole? My ex cheated on me and now wants me to pay her. A big shout out to Nishad for sending me this story. And guys, this story is a story where a former white knight definitely learns the hard way that being a white knight doesn't pay. He's 32 and his gal is now 28, his ex-gal. You can see in this story, guys, that he, like a lot of guys, falls for the old damsel in distress, if you will, and decides to be the hero not only to her, but to also her daughter. She's a single MOM. And he is the white knight through his spending his time, and not to mention his money, on her. And how does she repay him for all his kindness? Well, surprise, surprise, through lying, gaslighting, and having an affair. And rightly so, he's going to kick her to the curb. But guess what? It doesn't stop there, because now she's demanding more money from him, because guess what? He was obviously helping with the kid and all that. And I'm doing this one, guys, as an example of how I say all the time, you can't be the white knight hero. Let some other sucker do that. There are a lot of people in this world that are more than happy to milk you for everything it's worth, because that's just who they are. They're very ugly human beings. And it goes both ways. You got guys that are just as bad, but in this particular story, and let's be honest, this is a men's channel, so I'm helping guys out in the relationship department. And you see here, it's no different. And I might add, you're going to see that all his friends and family warned him. Don't get involved with her. She's trouble. They knew of her reputation somehow, and he wouldn't listen to her. He knew better. He thought she was different with him, all that. A lot of important lessons here in the story, guys. I cannot stress enough, okay? You want to do relationships, pick a gal that's single, that doesn't have any baggage or anything like that, because it will come back to bite you in the butt. Doesn't mean that everyone is like this, no, but sadly, so many stories are just like this. So, starts off, says here, so this is going to be a long post. I'll try to keep this as short as possible, but there's a lot to explain. At the time, I was 31. I met my ex. She was 28 in early 2019. Now, either they were that age then or now, but doesn't matter. She wasn't my usual type at all, but after chatting online and meeting shortly after, I fell for her hard. Smack. You fell for her hard just after chatting a little bit online and meeting her for the first time? Were you in prison all this time? This is the first girl you're going to see? Really? She had a daughter, 5 years old when we met. It took a little while, but we bonded incredibly well. I loved her as she was my own, and I believed it was mutual. When we first met, my ex really didn't have a whole lot going on for her, as she never worked, lived in a horrible flat, and had no income at all. And to give you an idea, she had one mattress between her and the daughter, one broken TV in the living room, and no other electronics at all. A fridge and even the oven didn't really work. Very, very basic living. Well, under these conditions, how is not social services involved here? Really? But I guess, well, okay, whatever. So you hear all these situations here, and she doesn't work or anything like that. Yeah, this is great girlfriend material. I don't care how hot she is. Find another chick. Unfortunately, he doesn't realize this. He says, my friends and family warned me of her due to hearing stories about her old party lifestyle and guys, etc. I ignored all this as I really couldn't see any of it. Smack. If you got everybody telling you that somebody's trouble, if it's a girl, and everybody's telling this girl that the guy's trouble, should I listen to them? But how often does that happen? And also, how often does it happen with guys? Because they think, oh, I'll change her. She's different with me. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. We discussed her past, and she was open about it and said it was all situational and that wasn't her anymore. Sure. Where have we all heard that one before? Within 6 months of being together, I got both of them passports and taken them away for 3 weeks. Neither had ever been abroad before. I slowly sorted her flat out, buying TVs, new fridge and oven, actually just all new kitchen appliances, new beds and mattresses, etc. So how much money are you spending on this girl that you've known 6 months, What is she bringing to the table? Aside from the fact that I'm guessing she's good looking. Really? You're spending all this dough on this chick you barely know and becoming a daddy to her daughter. I get you like her daughter, and that's cool, and that's nice of you, but seriously, what is she bringing to the table? What is she contributing to your life? And by the way, if she needs a new fridge and all that, why isn't the landlord providing that? She also got a little job, working some evenings at a pub whilst I looked after her daughter at home. Oh, so she's working, I guess, as a bartender or a barback or something, doing bareback as a barback, at a pub with drunk dudes. And she's good looking, I'm sure, being hit on all the time while you're home babysitting. It was honestly an amazing relationship, and we didn't have a single argument of issue for at least 18 months. Around 18 months after getting together, she was showing me something on her phone, and a message popped up that just didn't feel right. I immediately asked her about it, and she showed me the messages that were extremely flirty and provocative from the guy's side, but very basic responses and honestly not much interest shown from her side. We had a minor fallout, and I explained how I felt, and she explained it away as her being naive, and she hadn't looked at the messages in that way. What a load of crap. But the point is, she's giving her number out to somebody, and this dude's reaching out to her. And he wouldn't keep reaching out to her unless she was obviously engaging him, giving him some line of hope. And notice he said his gut felt something was wrong. Listen to it. And remember what all friends and family said about her having a past, and with guys and all that. She deleted the guy in question, told me I could check her phone whenever I wanted to, which I never did, and told that didn't mean I wouldn't trust her, and therefore, what would be the point of being together? Well, you have good reason not to trust her, dude. Later that year, I finally had enough money put away to make a property purchase. I bought a house, everything in my name and not involving her, with the plan of being our family home. There was a lot of renovation work to be done to get a livable place, and I plan on doing it all myself, so we all knew it would be a while. And we plan on taking around a year. During this time, she put a little money into the house to help, not much, but more of a token gesture as she knew I was doing it for the three of us. She also helped with labor during doing bits in the house. Fair play to her, she really did put the work in. Okay, so she's putting in some money towards the renovation of this house, and she's doing work, painting, sanding, hammering, whatever. Okay, fine. I think it's a fair trade given how much money he's put in her place and taking care of her daughter and everything. So let's just keep this in mind here, this money she's putting into this in labor. Around 9 months after getting the house, something in our relationship just felt off. You know that feeling in your gut that just screams something is wrong? Yes, I know that feeling, and you must listen to it, guys. So I asked her about it. I explained that we had little to no laughs or jokes anymore, meaningful conversations, and little S-word contact anymore, and that after working a 70-hour job a week, working on the house, and working out daily, I really felt the relationship was lacking. I even went as far to tell her that for the first time in 3 years, I'd seen a girl in the gym and thought she was attractive. I said that I'd never looked at another girl before, and that's why I needed to tell her about it. Well, what you're doing there, what this guy's doing there, saying, I saw this girl at the gym and she looked attractive. In other words, what he just did there, that's what girls do. When they can't just directly tell a guy, you're turning me off, you're doing things that are hurting me or turning me off, they'll just say, I saw some guy at the gym and he was really nice to me. And that's her way of communicating, get your shit together, I'm out of here. That's what he did. So instead of being a man and being direct, he did that hinting thing. Big mistake. Be a man, be direct, and tell her there's an issue. Or handle it differently, as there's clearly when there's smoke, there's fire. Says here, I said I felt like I wasn't wanted anymore. I also mentioned to her that after nearly 3 years of being together and never wanting to go out partying or having lots of late ones after work, suddenly she was finishing late weekly and wanting to go out every other weekend, all whilst I stayed home and looked after her daughter. So let's review. They're no longer hooking up, they're no longer talking, they're no longer having any fun together. She goes out, stays out late after work, goes out, which I'm assuming is girls' nights, girls' weekends, while he's home babysitting her daughter. Does this not sound familiar like a lot of stories I go over, guys? He rushed into the relationship, was the savior, the white knight, and she obviously has a past for a reason because of her actions. She enjoyed it, used him, and when she got bored, now she's finding another option. And you know what? It's like it's a shame because you got good guys out there that want to do nice things for these girls. And it just blows up in their face, and you just can't do that. She assured me that none of this was the case, and it was just her. She felt tired and knew she wasn't making an effort anymore. 6 weeks later, yet another late night after work. She came back home quite drunk and just seemed so off. It felt like she had done drugs or something, and she was just all over the place, very scatty, energetic. After a bit of talking, she went to bed and we fell asleep. I woke up about half an hour later to her phone going off with a few messages. She was sleeping drunk, so she didn't wake up. I know I shouldn't have gone through her phone, and never had before, but I grabbed her phone and had a look at it whilst I went to get a glass of water. My heart dropped. She'd been sending a guy that she worked with dirty pictures and messages about many messages were deleted, but the clear outcome was that she was cheating on me. This poor guy, as clueless as he was and naive, he was being a good guy to her. He was, and gave her the benefit of the doubt, the many doubt of his friends and family, and this is how she repays him. You heard all the money he was putting into her apartment, taking care of her kid, and this is the thanks he's shown. I should have listened to his friends and family. I went back to bed. I didn't want to have a row while she was drunk and was in the middle of the night. But as I got back in bed, she woke up and I couldn't contain it. I showed her the pictures and texts, and she just sat there silent, staring at me, but really looking right through me. This is when the waterworks comes in. She says, "I'm so sorry." I slept that night on the sofa. Smack. How about she sleeps on the freaking couch after all that? Or she can leave. In the morning, she got her daughter to come and wake me up, and she couldn't even leave the bedroom and didn't say a word. Oh, I'd have some words for her. I tried to call and text her throughout the morning, but nothing until a few hours later, saying my stuff was outside to be collected, and she had a shift that night, so she needed a nap. I was devastated. I went and collected my stuff and included it, and as were her set of the keys to the house. 4 days later, a friend's girlfriend bumped into her while she was out for lunch with the guys she'd been messaging. So she's not even hiding it anymore. I confronted her about this. She told me I had mental health issues and it was all in my head and he was just a friend. And she ended it by saying that it was definitely over. Trust me, I've already made the decision on my part. So he found pictures of her cheating, nude pictures and all that, amongst many other things, and it's all in his head. Twisting it around. I'm not the fault. You are. It's amazing you do enough of these stories, guys. It's always the same thing. And she was breaking up with him. So what does he get out of this whole thing? Right? Now, I said in the beginning he kicked her to the curb. I was mistaken. She broke up with him, but he claimed she was going to break up with her. After she got everything she wanted out of this guy, there you go. Don't be the white knight. But guess what? This isn't over. Says here, I missed, and I still do miss her daughter like you wouldn't believe. I tried to get into some contact, but I had no legal rights, and there was nothing I could do. It still breaks my heart to think her daughter must have thought I abandoned her. It's possible the mother filled the daughter's head with all these things. And you know what? A lot of these guys in these stories, they really fall for the kids. And it's not the kids' fault, and that their mother's a floozy and hops from guy to guy, and the kids get their heart broken and all that. She probably did tell the kids, he just left, and he doesn't care about you. And to be perfectly honest, this guy has every right to contact social services and say, hey, I know of a situation that the kid could be in danger, or the kid's not having its needs met, blah, 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 because she obviously is a terrible mother. I mean, you heard the state that her life was in when he first started dating her, right? Now, 1 year later, after some counseling because of my horrific trust issues, I received a message out of the blue from her saying that she thinks I owe her some money. And could I start paying her some of the money monthly for what she put into the house? Hang on here. He spent so much money on her and her apartment. Appliances, electronics, no doubt food, paying all sorts of other things, taking her out of the country, taking care of the daughter and all that. But now she wants money back because of the little amount she put into the house and the work she did? I don't think so. But her perception of this guy's too nice, too weak, and then he'll probably do it. He said, no, don't get me wrong. She put a little in, but not enough to justify any sort of repayment, and labor cannot be paid as that it was an act while we were together. Also, if I add up everything I did for her, her daughter, and her flat, it far outweighs anything that she did. Also, as previously mentioned, everything is in my name, nothing in hers. Am I the a-hole for point blank refusing to give her anything back? No. And I can't believe you have to ask this question. Of course not. She's the a-hole. The only way you're the a-hole is getting involved with her whenever I told you not to. But I hope this guy learned a very valuable lesson. In no way, shape, or form should he give her any money. But if he knows any lawyers, it'd be in his interest to speak to one to make sure that she doesn't come after him saying, hey, you were contributing all this money, which was helping with the daughter, right? And watching the girl and all that stuff that some nice guy judge might say he owes her money. He owes her child support because even though this wasn't his child, he was for a long time helping out. You guys get my point. So it might be in his interest to talk to a lawyer just to make sure that she can't come after him after that. But other than that, have nothing to do with her. But look at the gall she has to ask him for this, But so very important lesson, guys. Do not get involved with these. I can't think of the word, but these types, the ones that are just users, these leeches. And I guarantee you she'll be on to the next guy. Probably the guy she's having fun with now is a Chatter Tyrone type, and she's having fun with, but then she'll probably find another sucker, and round you go. That's usually how it works. Now some comments here before I wrap this up. One guy says here, you should talk to a lawyer just in case, because if she has any proof of putting money into the house, you can maybe have problems in the future. And for the moral part, she has absolutely no right in that house. And the reason she's contacting you is probably because she's effed up right now. Just ignore her and you owe her nothing. And come on, there's a reason you have trust issues. It's just that next time everyone points out there's something wrong with a person, you should listen to them now that you know. Yeah, again, he mentioned all the friends and family said do not get involved with her. It's amazing, a smart person will hear other people's stories and learn from them, not have to go through the pain that they went through. Another guy says here, not the a-hole, do not give her any money. I wrote that in giant letters. I know you're probably missing the daughter, but it could be a slippery slope once you start with your ex. Leave it be, continue with your life. Another guy says, oh, I see, I'm petty. I'll be finding out how much you spent originally on furnishing her apartment and see her bill. See if she asks about the insignificant amount for your house. Again, she's definitely going to have some audacity, not the a-hole. And one more, this guy says, not the a-hole, but as a family lawyer, I suggest you get some legal advice ASAP. Do not communicate with her. Leave it to the lawyer. I realize this may sound extreme, but your lawyer is objective and also immune to any kind of manipulation, especially if he tries to use her daughter as a pawn. That's the next thing. She'll use the daughter as a pawn. The girl needs money. I can't pay for this for the daughter. Some crap like that. Or she'll have the girl text him some manipulation tactic. Because her perception of this guy is that he's a sucker. And his actions definitely show that. But I hope he's learned his lesson. So no, do not give any money. But guys, look at this. Right? After everything he's done, what she did to him, and now she's back a year later wanting money. Shocker. So don't be this guy, lots to learn there. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. And guys, if you haven't done so already, definitely subscribe to the channel. And if you have subscribed to the channel, definitely check out my other channels and subscribe, Strong Successful Male and SSM Clips. Definitely trying to grow this channel this year. And like I said before, every time the channel grows, it pisses off a feminist. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.